Hey friends, it's Kat and Alicia. The Garden Girls are here today to talk about starting your seeds. Now that we have a garden plan, it's time to start growing some plants. You can grow your dream garden with just a few simple things.
Here's what you need to get your seeds off to a good start. Seeds,
A container,
water,
seed starting mix,
light,
labels,
plastic wrap,
and a warm spot.
and don't forget to grab your garden plan so you know how many seeds to plant of each kind.
Let's get planting. Here's our seed starting mix. It's important to use seed starting mix instead of soil. This will help avoid common problems with starting seeds. Jiffy is a great one and is available at most home stores and even some grocery stores. Our first step is to make sure our seed mix is nice and moist. Just add the mix to a bucket, then sprinkle in some water and give it a stir. And we all know that plants need water to grow, but most tap water has chlorine in it to kill the germs in the water. This might harm our baby plants, so be sure to either use filtered water or simply place a pitcher with some water and let it sit on the counter overnight. The chlorine will evaporate into the air like magic. You want the soil to feel like a damp sponge, not like a mud pie. Add a little bit of water at a time until it feels just right.
Now it's time to fill our container. You can grow seeds in almost any container. Just make sure it's clean and has a hole for drainage. Have your grown-ups help with this step. Some different containers are peat pots. These are great because you can put them right in the ground with your seed when it is ready to be planted, creating less waste, and they can be found at any hardware store. You can also use old takeout trays to plant lots of the same seeds at a time, but don't forget to add drainage holes. Start filling your containers with the seed starting mix and be sure to pack it in there. Imagine you're making a nice firm bed to tuck our little seeds into. That looks perfect.
Thank you. Hey. Now that we have a nice bed for our seeds, it's time to tuck them in. Seeds are amazing. Each tiny seed contains all the information and energy to grow into a beautiful plant. Have you ever heard of an MRE, meals ready to eat? That's what our soldiers eat in the field. It has all the nutrients and energy it needs to grow in one tiny package. And look at how different all these seeds are from one another. All are different sizes, shapes, and colors. Aren't they beautiful? Let's look at our seed packet. It will tell us everything we need to know about how to grow a plant. Seed packets are your instruction manuals for starting your seeds. The information you need to start your seed is when to plant it, how deep to plant it, and how many days it takes to sprout.
So today we are planting pepper seeds. According to the seed packet, this pepper needs to be planted 1/4 inch deep. So we will make a small impression in the soil about 1/4 inch deep and put our little seed in. It's better to be a little more shallow than too deep. And make sure to pat down the soil so that the seed is tucked in nice and tight.
We don't want to forget to label our plant, especially when you are planting many different kinds of seeds. We like to use old milk cartons with Sharpie because it's waterproof and the Sharpie is permanent. You may use plastic labels, or you could use masking tape and marker, popsicle sticks, or plastic knives. Be creative and thrifty. Whatever you have is fine, but definitely label them.
Now let's cover our container with plastic wrap to keep all the moisture in while the seed is germinating. And we need to get it to a warm spot. Seeds love a warm, cozy spot to sprout in. The top of your refrigerator is a great spot that's out of the way. Just don't forget to check on your seeds. Most seeds sprout in 1 to 2 weeks, so be sure to check in weekly and make sure the soil is still damp while you're waiting for the seed to sprout. After most of your seeds have sprouted, now is the time to move them to a sunny window or under a fluorescent light.
Some seeds are happy to be started ahead of time and then planted out into the garden when they get their set of true leaves, like lettuce, tomato, and peppers. But some seeds do not like to be grown in containers, especially root crops. Root crops are the plants that we eat the roots of, like carrots, radishes, and potatoes. For those crops, we want to plant them directly into the garden when the seed packet says it's time. But you'll have to wait until our next episode to see how we do that.
Teachers, we have some worksheets on how to read a seed packet and a seed starting guide with more detailed information on how to start seeds indoors. The links are in our description below.
Be sure to join us next time for more fun in the garden.
See you in the garden.
Bye.